we're clearing the way so you can come back up here.
Well, I saw that where it's you're actually going to be in the 70s, I think, next week, aren't you?
Yeah, we dodged the last couple of bullets, so we were really lucky.
Well, that's good. That's good.
We're,
So I know you're sick of.
we're still waiting for one member to show up, and then we can get started.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone. We have two new members to welcome to the commission. So I'm Jeff Hogan and serving as chair. So let's start with Jim.
Jim Beekler, past owner of several properties down on Main Street.
Melissa Schwalm, current owner of the Brown Street building on Main.
And Jeff Logan, owner of Luxury 5 Cinemas on Walter Street, and former owner of several buildings on Main Street.
Yeah, Jen Bradley from the scoreboard next door.
Patrick Clark, former senior vice president and CFO of the Hardcoin case.
Ashley Enders, director of Mitchell Main Street.
And representing the city.
I'm sorry, Mark Jennings, city planner.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone have any conflicts of interest on tonight's agenda?
We should probably actually call the roll the right way,
Okay.
just because.
Excuse me. Oh, and let's also, Larry, do you want to chime in?
Oh, yeah, Larry Drizza on the phone. I'm the owner of the building at 123 North Main Street.
Thank you. And so that is our quorum, and that will serve as a roll call. Is that
Probably not.
okay? Do you want to call
I
it?
just want to call the roll.
Okay, call the roll. We'll go through the same thing.
Bradley,
Here.
Bugler,
Here.
Clark,
Here.
Enders,
Here.
Genslinger, Jerza,
Here?
Logan,
Here.
Cooley, Schwam,
Here.
Swenson. We have a quorum.
Okay. Notice of the meeting has been posted on the city website and physically in the city hall building. Past 7 days ago, everyone on the commission was on the agenda and supporting materials. So you know what will be on the agenda, which we'll approve in a second. But does anyone want to declare any conflicts of interest they might have with any agenda items? Hearing none, we will proceed. You have received the agenda, and I'll entertain a motion to approve it. In a second.
I'll second that.
Okay? Got that, Mark?
Who was the first?
Who?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, all for
Okay.
motion.
Yeah,
Pat approves. Ashton seconds.
perfect.
All in favor, say aye.
No, got your roll
Say, oh, okay, sorry, I forgot. With Larry on the phone, got to do a roll call, so Mark, take it away.
call. Bradley,
Aye.
Bugler,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Enders,
Aye.
Jerza,
Aye.
Logan,
Aye.
Schwam.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Very good. Agenda stands approved. We have the minutes from the previous meeting. We're in the email that you received. Hopefully you've reviewed them. Does anyone have any additions or corrections? And Mark has them on the screen right now. if there are none, do we have a motion to approve?
I so.
Jared, I'll motion to approve.
Okay, and Jim seconded? And go ahead and call the roll.
Buchler,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Enders,
Aye.
Mirza,
Aye.
Schwam,
Aye.
Bradley,
Aye.
Logan.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Along with the agenda are materials relating to the buildings of 116 and 118 East First Avenue. Where the victim, motor vehicle accident, crashed into the front side, unfortunately supporting little bare walls right between them. There's several photographs and so forth. So we have to pass on the demolition permit. And Mark, did the state, SHPO, State Historical Preservation, our state counterparts, they already reviewed this, and what was their decision?
So the demo permit was applied for back in November, December. SHPO sent a notification saying that based on information provided, it will destroy historic property that's included in the National Register of Historic Places. So that's what brings the 11.1 review. So Cal from Schoenfelders has been working on this for Cleggett's. He did the 11.1 review, which you received in your packet. Walk you through that real quick. It has the owners wanting to, the location of it. They'd like to demolish it. The west wall, when they tore down when they tore down the building to the east, it did some wall damage there, also affected the roof, so there's leaking with that. You have already approved, and that has gone back to SHPO for the two buildings to the east, or excuse me, to the west of this at 112 and 114. There's concerns that it's an adjoining wall for that. When they looked at redoing the roof and doing some improvements to it a couple of years ago, it was $350,000 to $400,000 for repairs. That was 2 years ago, so costs right now are even higher than that. Add structural engineer and insurance for that. You can look through the photos that have been provided. This is the east side of the building from where that was tore down before. You can see that there was, I believe there was some structural damage on that side. That's the whole side of that. Inside there is an opening in the roof now, which has caused leaking into the building. So there's water damage throughout the whole interior of the building now. If you look at, this is what this whole area used to look like back in 2020. These two buildings over here were purchased and tore down. That created an issue with this wall. There was an insurance claim on that. Right here is actually where the accident happened, and this has been barricaded off for 1.5 years. These buildings can now come down. They were approved by this board, by council, to tear those down past the 10 days for notification of the state. So now it is these two buildings that we are requesting to have this board look at for either agreeing or disagreeing or no comment with the 11.1 review that has been provided.
And a little background, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that these buildings are on the historical register by nature and location, not by designation specifically to those buildings.
They are contributing buildings.
But they are contributing buildings, or at least were at the time
Yep.
of the,
Back in '95.
and I think this building, going back at one time, was housed Easy Plumbing.
Yes, it actually
50,
did.
70 years in there.
116 was Earl's Meat Market, and 118 was Easy Plumbing.
So those are the buildings we're looking at and the current condition they're in.
That was the buildings next to it.
Yeah, that we've already approved
Yep.
to be torn down.
Yep. There have been developers that have approached the existing owners or the city for this whole Paco block. It's with the hope that it's not going to be a parking lot right there, that there will be development that will go in this area. Cal can answer any questions that you have for him or that I didn't get through.
Any comments or questions on it?
If everything gets approved, what's the timeline for having things cleaned up?
So if it were to be approved by this board, I have to send minutes and all the packet to the state, which a couple days to put that together, send that to them. They have 30 days to respond. My guess would be 2 to 3 weeks they will respond and say they do not agree with your findings. Then it goes to council. They can approve or deny. If they approve it, have to wait for minutes to be published out, then send all that back up to the state. Once they receive it via certified mail, they have 10 days. We hear nothing from them at that point. It can be tore down. So realistically, you're looking at about the 1st of June, if everything were to go and be approved. And then it also goes to when Schoenfelders would have time to tear it down.
Has there been often, when buildings are demolished, I don't recall when the other 2 buildings was approved, but has there been a historical record, a photographic record of the building? So it's at least it's preserved in that way?
Ones downtown haven't been. The two that were DW when they did those. Those got put to a HAB survey, and that was with the recommendation of this board and council, and SHPO requested that as well, and that was done.
Before that, we did it on the old family grade school building, going back, but that is something that we could choose to order. If we so chose. I don't know that there's enough left inside or outside to show much, but it's up to you. I don't want to lead the discussion in that way, but it's, again, I think it's a contributing building based on the survey used by buildings done some years ago. Since then, there have been roof leaks, traffic accident, and the corner building, the old Sungold Trophies, which is a bar. I understand there's one kind of whorehouse on the second floor. Have all been pointed out. So, if anyone would want to ask for that historical survey, otherwise we'll entertain a motion for that, or for we can either our options are we can agree with SHPO and say we deny the permit to tear it down, which is our opinion and is not carried the way law. They can still do it. We could approve doing it, disagree with SHPO and do it, or we can kind of punt, can't we? What's our other option?
So your 3 options are to agree with the findings of this case report, not with SHPO though, it's with this case report. Disagree with the findings of this, or decline to comment on the findings.
Right, decline to comment at all. So at this point, if anyone has any other questions for anyone, otherwise we would entertain a motion to exercise one of those 3 options.
Well, this is yours. Looking at everything of the condition of the building, my ultimate concern would be the safety of the public, especially where the old Sungold building was on the east wall, where the bricks are loose and structural plate house loose and exposed, and those things falling on people or whatever. And I don't know. I just think the safety of the public is more important to me right now than looking at these buildings that are just really in tough shape. And realistically, no one in their right mind would probably ever try to restore them, because it would be a non-profitable deal. And I think it'd be extremely expensive cost-wise to do. So based on where I'm coming from as far as safety of the public, I'm more in favor of raising the buildings than I am trying to save them, me personally, anyway.
Would you make a motion to that effect, Larry?
Yes, I would.
So
that's what we need, yes, I would make a motion for that.
So did I hear correctly that your motion would be to agree with the findings of this case report due to financial impact and safety concerns?
Yeah, I would.
And go ahead with demolishing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
And we have a second from Jim.
So this, I may not be doing,
This
procedurally. So the owner of the building wants this to come down?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, well,
The other thing
then
we
there's,
have,
what's the other option?
yeah, and well, the option would be to try to restore it, rehab it.
But who?
Right.
Right,
And
if
the
the
owner
financial
wants it.
obligation
And
is
financially, The
too,
other thing, you would have one building in the middle of a vacant lot on either side of it, making all the properties less usable and valuable.
Right.
Very hard for me to ever say tear down the building. But with knowing the other two are already approved to go, I guess. Do the bricks and things get, I mean, like, do the restoration companies take bricks and whatnot to help restore other buildings? Because I know they're having a heck of a time finding ones to match mine.
Yeah,
Not that these have that great
it's a good question.
look or whatever,
Well,
but
it-
just in general.
I'm sorry, this is yours again. I can offer some information on some of that. When the Old Townhouse Cafe was destroyed in the bar, Longhorn Bar on the corner of First and Main, the contractor, the demolition contractor, did salvage and save a lot of masonry, bricks and stone or whatever that he could, because he knew he could sell them. And so that is something that some contractors do. Others, if the bricks are soft, old, deteriorated, sometimes those old utility bricks are soft and they get chipped real easy and they're real porous. A lot of those are just knocked down all the way and disposed of. So it's really, it's one of those things that depends on, I think, who does it, and if they want to put the effort into doing it. But as far as the condition and trying to reuse the bricks, it's pretty labor intensive because a lot of times you got to clean all the mortar off, and a lot of the bricks are chipped or cracked. You got to hand sort them. I don't know. It's quite an effort, but it has been done.
Queen Peach several years ago, we had a real call scoop happen, and it started to lean a little bit. And so the Westmans came and they actually took them down in one brick at a time. And the bricks were very good shape and the mortar was shot, so they saved those. It wasn't much effort.
Well,
And then the other examples, I think, both Foley family and Dakota Wesleyan have been pretty successful in saving the granite.
Big granite blocks.
Joe,
Fascia brick look pretty good. It's true, the common brick used in the sidewalls are probably junk, but,
Joe Schrader, I'm a Public Works Director for the City of Mitchell. I do know Schoenfelders in the past have saved that brick and they've crushed it to use in roads or fill or those types of things. So it does not end up in the city landfill, just for your information.
I'm sure, it costs more money, takes more time, so somebody would have to want it. I just don't know if the restoration companies,
Because we
Seek
have had
this
in the
out.
past on some demo jobs, somebody come and get some and stuff, but we don't take the time, it ain't cost effective for us to
right.
sell
Yeah,
it.
somebody would have to be paying for that extra time.
Yeah,
yeah, hopefully, if anyone wanted it, if it looked like it matched, or like with your building, if it matched their building, they could contact you with Schoenfelders.
Yeah, that's their business, I guess.
Right.
I didn't see anything unique in the book. But,
Well,
it's walk-
true, but it's the color match, it's the color
Yeah.
match for the fascia brick, yeah. But you're right, there's nothing unique, it's not like the granite at Wesleyan or
No.
Sioux Falls granite, some of that is, it's not that. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions, or are we ready for the vote?
is the hole in the roof on the bigger building?
Cal, can you answer that?
I don't remember. It was leaking all in, in both the lower end. The lower building actually was better. I think it had less leakage than the two-story. And it was puddled in on the main floor, coming down from the second floor in the two-story part. That was actually where it was the worst, was in that.
The open hole is gonna be from the single-story building, just by looking at GIS and the pictures that he sent, because the second story doesn't have an opening, you know, roof of it. But from when the building to the east of it got tore down, it jostled some, and that's where the leaks are coming from the second floor. According to
So,
insurance.
the roof joists and floor joists and boards have all been leaking before by the
Yep.
making it more cost prohibitive.
You could see the mold and things like that too.
Oh, there are.
It looked like in that one photo, there was quite a bit of mold.
No idea the condition, but if you're building a loft or something, that skylight might have some value to somebody. Who knows, it's probably rusted.
We'll refer him to Cal.
Yeah.
Something can be said. That's true. I don't know if there are any other architectural elements. I mean,
I'd
it
say
was
some tin ceiling count.
you know,
Or doors, sometimes.
yeah. There's,
If they-
you know, it was a wholesale running warehouse, so it was never fancy. I mean, the showroom was wood floor, and the counter was in there a lot, they were a block away, we had Steve Weathers who were coming, and then they moved out of it, and built a new building on Haven, so.
Does SHPO ever come out and look at these in their determination?
No,
They just always say no.
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay. Yeah, nobody's gonna say that. But
They don't
generally-
give any reasons why they declined.
No, there's no, it just,
That's what I mean. That
Just the
doesn't
very
seem-
generic.
yep, they're generic.
Right.
Lingo
cookie cutter,
that is usually
everyone.
used.
Yep.
They pretty much want to save everything, which is their job.
Right.
And they are not concerned with the financial feasibility. That's not their concern.
Isn't that ours as well? We're just a smaller,
It is,
Stepping
but I
stone
think
of the
we-
same
Yeah, yeah, but we also have, I
Right.
think, a little more contact. I don't want to say anything against SHPO, but I mean, we're not state employees and we understand the financial feasibility.
Right. And
Real
real
world.
logic
We,
of,
and I was gonna say, we live there, and we don't want to see someone get killed, you know? That's what I'm concerned about.
Or the
It
eyesores.
doesn't matter if a building costs $3 or $3 million, if you kill somebody, it isn't, you know, it isn't worth it, you know? That's why I,
Public safety issue. And
Yeah.
if it detracts from the downtown risk, or
right.
it hurts the
right.
commercial viability of the neighboring buildings and the ability to run a successful retail business in it too, so we have to.
sorry to clog things up. I'm just new here. Like, so well, you said we don't have any real bearing, honestly, but if they aren't able to tear it down, which probably not gonna end up like that, but then what, nobody's gonna force anybody to fix these, and they just have to stand there until they fall down themselves?
In South Dakota, we can't stop them from doing it. So if the owner wants to do it, it's just they're doing it against our recommendations, and they go ahead and demolish it.
Okay,
So if the building were to stay up, it would more than likely at some point be a nuisance.
right.
And then they would be required to correct the nuisance accordingly.
And the city may end up having to pay.
Or, as Larry pointed out, we could have a collapse
Right.
and injury,
All right,
public safety issue.
okay, sorry.
That's all right. Important discussion to go through. Mark, I think we're ready unless someone has anything else to call the roll on the vote. We have a motion and a second on the floor.
Bradley.
Aye.
Bugler.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Enders.
Aye.
Jerza.
Aye.
Schwam.
Aye.
Logan.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Is there any other business anyone's like to bring to the commission? It's not on the agenda. We can't really take action. And no public input as our audience just left. It was good they were here, and we thank them for being here to answer our questions. With that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a second. We need to call the roll on that one, Mark, or?
You bet we do.
Okay. Larry, you gotta get back to town, so we don't have to do roll calls on everything.
You real upset if I said no, wouldn't you?
We want you back anyway.
Bradley,
Aye.
Bugler,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Andrews,
Aye.
Gurza,
Aye.
Schwam,
Aye.
Logan.
Aye.
We're adjourned at 5:40.